Hello, people of the internet. My name is Scott House, and I will be your DM for this campaign.
Oh, you want us to start?
Yeah,
Okay.
whoever wants to take the lead there.
All right. I'm Zach. I'm one of the players in this campaign, and I hope we have a great time in doing our first online thing.
Yeah, first podcast.
Yeah. Woo.
Is it really a podcast? I mean, there's no video, so I guess it's just audio. But
I'm Rico. I'm an idiot. Don't worry about me. You're gonna have to worry about me.
We got one more.
Do we have like?
We got one more lurking back there.
No, I'm a player. Duh.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Please don't do that.
Don't do that.
hello.
Hello?
We
Why are
can
you
hear
talking
you.
like that?
Have we already been cursed?
Nev?
We've already
My
restart
cursed
the
mic.
recording.
No. Well, I
It's
mean, you
not-
have to do editing.
It's not my fault. My cursed mic, it just, if I don't use it once a day, I get a -2 to my attacks. It fucking sucks.
Well, would you care to introduce yourself, strange traveler?
I'm not strange, but I am a traveler.
You know, one of those was
I-
extremely wrong.
I would say that both of those was wrong, actually. You are, in fact, strange, and you ain't going anywhere.
Ew. I am Navid, and I play a dwarf.
Ooh, good intro.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
We're all amazing at this.
Anyway, we've been playing D&D since about late 2014, 2013. So, but we've never really attempted anything like this or 5e actually. So I should probably say that this is mostly a homebrewed world and is sort of just Wizards adjacent. If you're familiar at all with what they have as their own lore. The Sword Coast does exist, but we're nowhere near that.
Really won't come into play most of the time.
Yeah.
It's our own thing. We just pull the elements we want. It's fine.
Yeah, so...
Can I be Neville Longbottom?
No.
But the Dwarven version? Okay.
No. Well, I suppose, thank you for tuning in, and let's get started. Alright. Everyone's here.
Cue the intro music.
Okay.
No,
No.
that's not the intro music.
Oh, Jesus.
D&D, but the players are idiots.
No.
No.
That's normal D&D.
May I begin, please?
Well, obviously not.
But go ahead anyway.
The call goes out. A high-pitched whistle that you've all become accustomed to after your 3 months spent on this rickety ship.
Fucking.
The whistle signals early morning, or more accurately dawn, I suppose. And as you are roused from your slumber, you notice that the light isn't breaking through like it usually does, and there's a noticeable chill in the air. So which one of you is first up and out and about?
I say it's me, why not?
Sure.
I'll be the first one up. I'll hit my head on the ceiling. My character is a brass dragonborn. Her name is Mira Drathilian. Call her Mira for short. Don't even worry about the long name. Only I will remember that ever. And she's real nice. Except she's a barbarian, so if she gets angry, she's not nice anymore.
All right. Well, what's the first thing you do after waking up then, I guess?
Get up top on top of the deck, I guess.
You are
See what's
met
up.
with the familiar face of the ship's captain, Captain Hawkwood, a seagull Aarakocra. He has to tilt his head just to get a good look at you around his big, dumb beak.
Haha, bird.
Morning, Mira. Sleep well.
Captain?
Are you excited? Today's the day.
Today's the day we finally get to get off this boat.
Precisely. Luck should be just ahead of us.
I look.
You can't actually see much due to the fog. But there are, in fact, 5 motes of light that sit out in the distance.
That's probably it.
5 lighthouses.
Who's next?
I am next.
Okay.
It's in character. It's
That
the
is it.
mask.
That is in character. You are correct.
So, I am Oriot, the Resplendent, world-renowned diplomat and musician. I climb out of bed and clamber up the stairs.
On all fours.
No, not on all
Beats.
fours. Not on all fours. On 2 legs, like a regular person.
You are also greeted by the captain as he signals forward to your familiar shipmate Mira. Much like you, it's kind of hard not to take notice of her as she stands literally at 8 feet tall.
Big. That's it, just big.
Good morning to the 2 of you.
Morning,
Morning.
Mr. Gold.
So, but it seems to be the 5 lighthouses off in the distance. Are we finally here?
That would be correct. Your long journey is almost over. All we have to do is pull her into port.
Gotta say,
Yeah.
I'll miss being thrown back and forth on this rickety boat.
Somehow I don't think that's true.
I won't. I could use some dry land.
Suddenly, you feel a sense of peace as a sound you've been ignoring all trip suddenly stops. The incessant snoring of a dwarf.
You've been sleeping
All right.
for 3 months.
Let's have it.
And tiny stomps walk up as a red-headed hill dwarf with a blue cap walks up. And he shields his eyes as he says, "Aye, Jiminy Cricket! For one thing, I hate the fucking morning sunrise. And another thing, every single scale on your 8-foot tall body is just amplifying the pain."
All right.
Put a lag on.
I guess someone's not much of a morning person.
So much of not.
You, I can avoid because your face shines like crazy. All I gotta do is just not look at your face. But her,
So much of not a morning person that he completely missed that it's still kind of dark out.
shit.
Don't worry though. The reason for that soon becomes apparent as the ship breaks through the fog. The lighthouses now stand very clearly spread out along the base of a massive, almost monolithic cliff face of a black stone.
Onyx or obsidian?
It's unclear at this distance.
Mm.
However, what does stand out are the brown lines that trace all around the cliff face like a spider's web. That as you approach, it becomes more and more apparent that that's not just more rock, that's wood.
Oh, scaffolding.
It is a scaffolding holding cranes, docks, even buildings that jut out away from the cliff face, going from the very top all the way down to the water level, where you can see a pier has been built. Or I suppose a harbor.
So whatever this black substance is, it's much easier to build out from it than it is to mine into it, it seems.
Well,
Weird flight. Okay.
you say that, but as you get even closer, imperfections begin appearing, and you can actually see buildings carved in as well. This entire setup is about as big, if not bigger, than most of the villages you've seen back home.
Now that is an impressive sight.
Oh, if you think the docks are impressive, just wait till you get a gander at the rest of the city.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'd love to see a city that's not on fire for once.
You never told me you came from hell. I'd believe it.
Ugh. You'd believe a lot of things, wouldn't you, Goldface?
Only the things that are true, and some of the things that aren't.
Why do I get the feeling that no one's ever gonna call him by his actual name?
Because Oriot is too what's the word? Hoity-toity?
Maybe.
Too pretentious, maybe.
Maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. It's not that hard to say, though.
You're
Yeah.
telling me you've never seen war, Goldie Cheeks?
I've seen many things in my travels, but even in a war, not every city is on fire.
Well, lucky you.
Indeed.
Anywho, the sun is finally able to crest over the cliff's edge as you make your final approach and begin docking. The ship's crew hauls your things out from below deck, sets out the gangplank, and you are now finally able to leave this creaky old vessel.
And finally free to set foot on not so solid ground, also known as the pier.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will attempt to arouse my kobold daughter.
You do so successfully.
Teddy, come on. It's new place time. I know it's not your favorite.
She
Come on, get out, my big scaly blueberry.
raises reluctantly, but allows you to kind of pull her along by the hand.
That's the spirit. Come on, let's show this city what we underbreakers are really like.
Okay.
Yes.
Just
a
drag
character
her
that
along.
doesn't like waking up. Finally.
I mean, we already had one. Now we
Yeah,
have two.
but one that I like.
It runs in the family.
Well, as you exit the ship, you are waved over by a small woman dressed in uniform, accompanied by a similarly sized man dressed in armor.
Wait, they're both small?
I mean, compared to Mira, anything's small.
Okay,
Let's-
true.
let's
but
be
are we
honest.
talking? Are they short or are they halflings?
They're short. They're
Okay.
definitely human, but they're short.
Okay.
Kind of young too. Each
I thought they'd be taller.
I will walk up first.
each of
flanked
them,
by my friends, I suppose.
yeah, each of them is wearing a uniform, like I said, emblazoned with this crest, bordered in a blackish color.
Oh, I see the crest.
Less of a black, more of a very dark green. The woman addresses you, Mira, and says, "Hello."
Oh, that was cheerful. I wasn't prepared for that.
You must be new residents, yes? Or are you just visiting?
I suppose we are. It's the homeowners association.
Great.
Oh no.
Can I get your name?
Mira.
Is that it?
Drathilinian.
All right. Thank you very much. And are you an adventurer, perhaps? Certainly look it.
Yes,
The man-
I would be.
The man gives it an appreciative nod. Excellent, excellent. I suppose that'll do for now. She tears off a piece of paper that she had been scrawling on and hands it to you. This will be a sort of temporary ID for you. You can apply for a
Can't
more
tell if
you can apply for a more formal one later, if you'd like.
can't tell if she spelled her name right
Oh,
because she can't read.
I can't read.
Wait, do barbarians have that in this edition?
I don't think so.
Okay,
You're not illiterate. Okay.
you don't have to. You don't have to spend a fucking skill point to read.
Before
There's
you
no skill points.
Before you walk off, the man stops you and says, "You looking for work?"
I would be.
Well, if you're not interested in joining up with any of the adventurers guilds that are here in the city, maybe you consider joining the Sentry. He says as he taps the symbol emblazoned on his chest. You can find our headquarters at the very center. He says, pointing up and behind him.
Guard
Suppose
duty.
I'll have no trouble finding the center.
I'd certainly hope not. It is kind of the biggest building in the city.
Well, thank you for the offer, and I will most certainly take you up on it if I can't find anything else, that's for certain. But at the moment, I
Next!
need a drink.
The woman waves for the next person to step up.
Hello.
Hello! That is a very interesting mask you've got.
Thank you.
Oh, you're telling him.
I had it designed especially to look aesthetically pleasing, seeing as I cannot take it off.
I see. Interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and mark you down as adventurer. And your name.
Diplomat, bard, and adventurer, I
And-
guess. Yes.
And your name, please.
Oriot.
Oriot. Thank you. She hands you your own slip. And finally,
Yes. The name's Seamus Underbreaker,
Seamus.
and this is my esteemed daughter, Terry Underbreaker.
Ah,
With an
excellent.
I, not a Y.
Okay. She says as she gently scratches out something and then corrects her mistake.
Hmm.
And are you perhaps an adventurer as well?
You could say that. Wizard in training, and my daughter is a blacksmith in training.
Wizard in training. Very interesting. Then I might actually direct you to maybe check in with those young folk over there. She says, gesturing to a group of younger people, humans, elves, a couple gnomes, all sitting on crates, just kind of casually reading, studying, enjoying the morning air and the sea breeze. They are all decked out in a robe of varying colors with the following with this symbol on the chest.
Is that the class from the major school on a field trip?
No, they come here to try to catch a glimpse of perhaps merfolk. I don't know. They're here every morning.
I'm gonna give a nervous little glance to my daughter. I'm like, well, time to get with the underclassmen, I guess.
And if she is a blacksmith, then you may also want to go visit the citadel at the center of the city.
He gives a relieved look. He says, yes, let's get you sorted up first, Terry, and then I'll go talk with my esteemed colleagues.
Oh yes, the Master of Steel will be perfectly pleased to have a new blacksmith in his order.
Hey, you hear that? Master of Steel. I think you made me a heart like that when you were 6 years old.
She's
Look,
so
see?
fucking tired.
She made me this one right here. And he pulls out like a really a not so well forged steel heart.
Oh, that's adorable.
It's not just adorable. It's fucking amazing. For a 6-year-old kobold. Makes a dwarf cry.
All right. Well, if that is it, she tears off two slips of paper and hands them to you.
Alright.
Now, all three of you can head up to the city on that lift over there. She points to a large platform suspended on a rope that seems to run all the way up.
You mean the four of us, right?
Yes.
Okay. We're not leaving Seamus behind to go talk to the little wizards here.
I mean, if you don't want to, there's nothing tying y'all down to each other right now.
I like how you say that as if you'd bring Terry along and just leave Seamus behind.
Well, Terry has to go to the middle of the city. Seamus has to talk to the people on the docks. So that would be 3 people. It's an explanation vocal faux pas. Anyway, we're gonna go up the thing into the city.
Drink.
Yes. And we'll find something to drink.
So you board the lift along with several other early morning dock workers, other passengers from other vessels, merchants, so on. And once the lift is fairly full, it begins to climb upwards. About halfway up your journey, you hear the sounds of someone climbing up onto something behind you.
I look.
What does that sound like?
Sounds like somebody stepping onto something wooden.
Okay.
Nobody else was moving. We were just kind of standing there on the lift.
Yeah, so the sound of movement would be pretty obvious. So, Mira, you turn around and you see a man emblazoned in a red and yellow robe with this symbol on it.
Alright.
He seems to be holding some kind of book, and he begins to rant. Newcomers are not safe! This city is no longer safe for any of us! The sentry have failed us! All will fall before the fire. And
Well, I'd be concerned if they didn't fall to fire, seeing as how dangerous it is.
you, man, do you mock the cleansing flame?
I mean, flames cleanse all things. What makes it so good that it's the cleansing flame?
For we are your only protection from this great evil.
What do you have? A pail of water?
That one's a good one.
We are the flame that illuminates the darkness of this city. All evils will be snuffed out before it.
So
You
you're saying
cannot
you're the
stand
bloody
against the Inquisition.
Inquisition, you said.
Yes, they are always unexpected.
I don't like these speeches anymore. You said
I
a
don't.
no word.
Last Inquisition I had to deal with was by a blue dragon that destroyed my entire village and killed all of my people.
I tend not to like fire, what with the full body burns and whatnot.
I feel your pain, sister, but this is a healing flame as well as a destructive one. The righteous will not be harmed.
So, how exactly does a flame choose to hurt someone and quote unquote heal someone?
You see,
Because of all the magical flames I've seen, they've done nothing but a lot of hurting.
we are this flame, an embodiment of our Lord that will snuff out the darkness.
I mean, so can a regular flame.
Well,
See? Look! You just cast prestidigitation to light up. Darkness, go bye-bye.
You dare make a mockery of me and my order?
I mean, you dare threaten me with a cleansing flame that's gonna hurt me? And my daughter?
If you wish
To
to
be
prove...
frank, you're the one who climbed onto this lift and just started spouting your gospel.
I bring warning. This city is no longer safe.
Okay, well, warning heeded.
well, what happened to the city to make it not safe anymore?
Adventurers have been disappearing. Do you know nothing? Have you not heard the talks?
We've been on a boat for 3 months.
He blushes out of embarrassment.
Yes, the fucking copper piece makes a point.
The copper piece.
Do you want to be thrown off this lift?
I'm saying this, I'm a little riled up. I'm gonna stay out of this one.
Do not color scales copper. Oh boy, that's fighting words.
Very well. If you will not heed my warnings and turn and leave, if you wish to prove yourself as worthy of protection, you may come to the ruins. The lift reaches its apex, and he is the first to leave, disappearing into the crowd.
What did the rest of the crowd think of what he was saying?
Looking around, the non-adventurer types definitely look worried. Because he did start by saying all newcomers are not safe.
You know, it doesn't say much that he says he can grant me protection in, ruins.
I assume the ruins are where they think the adventurers are disappearing from, not that's where they actually live. Although I could be wrong there, I don't know.
It just doesn't seem very well
many
marketed.
fanatics in my day, as short as it may be. Those that run off are usually not to be trusted.
Are you talking about how he just went back to his order, or
He disappeared into the crowd. He didn't just be like, does anybody want to, like, come with me or anything? You know, like a nice person.
Well, he did. He said, if you want to prove yourself worthy of protection, come to the ruins.
Yeah, and then he just fucked off.
And then he left, yes.
He fucked off
But
like
the
some
whole
kind
point-
of creepy person.
he didn't slink into the crowd so that way he couldn't be followed. He just left because he had already given his sermon, right? That's what I'm trying to verify here.
Yes.
Okay.
And I suppose I could roll insight if I wanted to.
You could do that. You could make the first official roll of the campaign.
I took it.
To what? Try to follow him, or?
No, to figure out. It's like sense motive. It's insight. Uh-oh.
Ooh. That's gonna be a no, Chief. In any case, the splendor of the city does now sit before you. Roughly covering the size of LA, I believe, would be the most apt comparison to real world. Lux here is big. Like, really big. A mountain range stretches from one side of the city to your left, I guess that would be north, all the way around to the opposing southern end of this cliff.
What a strange mountain range.
The city itself is a natural fortress, and you can see that it extends pretty much all the way out to the foot of those mountains. Evidence of smaller walls can be seen crisscrossing around through the city itself, though anything of those walls that you can see look old and not in the best repair. Though, directly in front of you, at the center of the city, just like the guard said, is a large fortress-like building that you can only assume is what he referred to as the Citadel.
One place looks like the god of civilization just vomited in an earthen bowl.
What a vulgar analogy.
And yet, I think it works.
You can also make out many tall towers that dot the city, and there's actually one fairly close to where you are right now. They're in the Foam District.
What do the towers look like?
The tops of the towers appear to look like actually large birdhouses. Otherwise, they're just the standard tapering cone shape.
Birdhouses. The captain of the boat was a birdman, right?
Yes, an Aarakocra.
Well, okay, Maracocra?
Aarakocra.
Aarakocra. So maybe, is this city, like, are Aarakocras the natives then?
It's hard to say, because as you look around the Seafoam district here, you see pretty much any race you could imagine. Other Aarakocra walk around, though you don't see any more seagulls. Elves, dwarves, humans, halflings, gnomes, even a few orcs walking around. Heck,
Well,
there's even a centaur pulling what seems to be some kind of cart behind him.
Considering this is where the docks are, I would assume this would be where most of the traders would be, so these could be natives and non-natives to the city.
Yes, all of these buildings are very large, suggesting either auction houses or warehouses.
Well, where were we supposed to head with our slips of paper again?
All you were told was that you could apply and get actual IDs at some point later in the future. You could only assume that it would be this with the Citadel, since that's where they're from. In the Century. Two of you were also directed to go there if you wanted work.
Drink.
There are bars here. Bars and inns, though most
Drink.
they seem to be mainly built out to cater to sailors taking respite in the city before shipping out again. But Mira wants her drink.
That's
Yeah,
good enough for
course.
me.
I'm an agreement with the talking statue.
What?
You know, she's made of brass.
Little one, I would suggest that you cease with this tomfoolery. And she just picks you up.
Oh,
It's a compliment. Have you ever seen a bad statue?
I have.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Now come. I'm going to drink you under the table.
You may be 8 feet tall, but your gut ain't 8 feet deep.
You're not even 4 foot.
That's why we have multiple guts.
dwarves do
No.
not have multiple.
Do not add that to dwarf lore. Please do not.
Not.
Regardless, Mira, your rampant alcoholism will only serve to harm you. But let's head to that bar anyway.
I suppose now's as good a time as any to ask. Orta?
Oriate.
Oriate. How do you eat? If you don't and or cannot take off the mask.
The teeth
Uh-huh.
Actually, how do you
and
eat my
fold inward.
The teeth fold inward. Okay.
That's bloody disgusting.
Alright.
They're like little flaps. You just push it into
You
your
literally have a mail slot for your food.
In any case, you enter into the closest nautically themed bar. You are surrounded by a bunch of already drunken sailors, most likely still nursing hangovers from the previous night, and a bored-looking bartender.
I hope Terry close just in case.
No one's paying attention to you.
I order a twink.
You order a drink. What would you like?
How special.
All right. He pours you a glass of rum.
I'll just
Hold
take
on, let me-
2 from the top for now.
Make the sound.
Alright.
2 from the tap. All right. He supplies you your drinks. And you, Fancy Pants?
it's not normally the pants that they mention first. It's usually the mask. But I will take. What do you got that tastes good?
I got grog.
Is grog normally something that tastes good?
Mine does.
Why not? In a new city.
He pours you
Give me
a
mug.
frothy mug of grog.
Down the hatch. So how does it taste?
It's an interesting flavor. I don't think it would taste good to your more refined palate, but you could definitely see how a sailor that's already been drinking for a while might find this tasty.
Yeah, that's definitely grog.
Yeah, it's the kelp. Gives it a nice salty taste.
Kelp grog?
Yeah.
Fermented kelp. Never would have thought of it myself, but that's why I'm not an alchemist or a what's the term? Brewmaster. Well then, to kelp.
He pours himself a mug and returns your toast. To kelp! Alright.
To kelp.
Well, you've had your drink, unless, Mira, would you like to partake of the kelp grog?
No, I'll just have my rum.
Alright.
Well,
I see if Terry likes her tap drink. She's like 22, 20, 30.
Definitely not a kid anymore since kobolds reach maturity at age 5.
okay.
So it's not like we're making a drunk baby here.
Oh,
She's good.
okay.
She's finally waking up, actually. The drink seems to help a bit.
Yeah,
You yourself even feel a little energized.
Nothing like putting some fuel in the engine. Or in your case, coal in the forge. Ain't that right, Derry?
That's right, Papa. Alright. Well, you've had your drink. Sorry, what? You're a
What?
barbarian. Don't even.
Despite being on that ship for 3 months, I feel like we haven't really settled as much about ourselves to each other.
Yeah, Mira was spending most of the time basking in the sun.
Alright.
Not much else.
And I was just combating my seasickness.
Well then, Dwarf, Seamus, you mentioned burning cities. What did you mean by that?
Yes. Long story short, just grew up in a border between two big cities. Lots of stuff happened. But found me a wonderful daughter on the way. Been raising her like me own. In fact, she is me own.
She
Wait.
looks up and gives a weak, tired smile. Still very much half asleep.
See? She even acts like me. Well,
Though, that might be the
Oh,
alcohol
okay.
kicking in.
only thing we don't share is Well, her passion for blacksmithing, and my passion for drinking.
And the beard.
Oh, that too, but you don't know yet. She's only 20.
Oh, Lord, a drunken wizard.
I'll admit I haven't met very many kobolds, but I don't think they grow beards.
You never know. If the Dragonborn's gonna have those scaly beards, why can't kobolds?
Do Dragonborns get scaly beards?
I've seen one or two in my lifetime. But then again, that must have been a trick. Or maybe they're mocking me. I don't know. It's all a drunk haze.
Ah, so we have 2 alcoholics in the group. Wonderful.
Hey, hers is an addiction. Mine is a genetic disorder.
A genetic disorder. My
Well,
God.
I can't say you're wrong from what I've heard of dwarves, but anyway.
Glug, glug, glug.
I can only assume that Mira's on her, like, second or third at this point.
Oh, yeah.
She's definitely not nursing.
Anyway, considering how huge she is, she can obviously stand to drink a lot more than a normal person could.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you had your drink. What would you like? What
More
would you
drink!
like? What would you like to do from here?
Well, establishing a source of income is always a good idea, but before we do that, we probably need to get our paperwork all filled out. You know, how long do these temporary IDs last?
They're not marked with anything like that.
There's no expiration on it.
No.
I suppose if we are to go anywhere, the Citadel would be the first to stop.
True. And from there, we can learn a lot more about the city.
Yes.
Oh, so you're all new here?
Yes, I am. And yes, they are too.
Well, if you're heading to the Citadel, the fastest way would actually be to take the transport tower that's outside.
Transport tower.
Well, I mean, transport for short, but those towers are really the easiest way to get around here.
Fast travel.
At the very least, the fastest way.
The fast travel points.
So I noticed they did look like bird cages. Are you saying this city has an entire network of flying beasts to take us around?
Oh, not just one network, several.
Bruh.
That's amazing.
See, if you hadn't noticed, we are kind of at a higher elevation. And no one really knows this for sure, but there are, and he leans in a little closer, a network of underground tunnels.
Underground, you say?
We don't
Why are
really,
those ones secretive?
well, some are, some aren't. You said you're looking for work. I might be able to provide you some avenues.
Yes, I'm
Especially-
looking for fame, renown, and of course coin, because you can't live without it.
Well, then you may just be in luck, and the big one here might just have some fun.
Did I hear fun?
Yeah, you did.
I can only assume that means bashing skulls.
In a sense, yeah.
Alright, out with it.
Like that.
What are the details?
Just follow me. And he steps out from behind the bar and leads you into the back room.
No, not the back rooms! Okay.
Alright, what are these
I
back
follow
rooms?
him.
Okay.
Yes, I follow him as well.
I was
This
waiting
isn't
on.
a trap at all.
He leans down, taps twice on a space on the ground with his knuckles, and a trap door opens that would otherwise have gone unnoticed, revealing a torchlit staircase headed down into the earth.
Okay.
This better be more along the lines of a thieves guild and not a heart-stealing cabal.
It is just big enough for Mira to fit. Not comfortably, but big enough for her to fit.
I don't quite like going underground. But if it's in the name of whack.
Just follow these tunnels and you'll make it there just fine. Or this tunnel. Follow this tunnel.
Just that tunnel.
Yeah. Just this tunnel.
And then we go down and then we all die. Game's over, guys.
This
Give 'em
is also a good point for me to ask. Does anyone I know
Yeah, I was
Or
gonna
it.
ask if I have
or it
dark
has
vision.
dark vision. Does anyone else have dark vision?
I
And or is carrying a light source?
have dark vision.
You have dark vision.
I don't know if I have dark vision. Nothing.
I do not remember what the range on dark vision is.
60 feet.
For me.
60 feet.
60 feet.
I was thinking of buying a lantern on the way here.
Well, this pathway is lit. So
Okay.
you don't need to worry about that. It's just something I should know for the future.
Okay. I can't see in the dark.
Okay. You might want to get a lantern or something.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting a lantern because I realized, I can't see in the dark.
Anyway. It's not a short trek. And you can definitely tell you're traveling a pretty good distance under the city. It's also not constantly downward. It does level out eventually. And after maybe a good 20-25 minutes of walking, you emerge into a cavernous room filled with screaming, cheering spectators.